And
Hello, welcome to our Society Power Session.
hey.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going, hey. Oh, love your cup, Mon. She's
Hey.
holding up a girls support girls mug.
Oh,
Love to see it.
I love it, Monica. But today we're talking about my favorite topic. We're talking about leadership, and I want to talk about leading from where you are, leading from anywhere in the organization. Maybe drop in the chat what is your bonus level? What is your highest promotion that you've achieved? What's the highest rank that you've achieved? Maybe drop it in the chat so we can see 12%.
Oh, Bella.
9%, 12%,
On. Wow. Right,
22%.
two,
No, no
three.
crying next to
Yeah, Izzy,
3%,
we're
is
Izzy,
he?
this is your first month in the business. You did great. You're getting paid.
Okay, this is
Yes.
and I love it. And as you guys can see, we have every bonus level on this call. And what I really want to touch on is leading from anywhere in the organization. And this is from John Maxwell's book, The 360 Leader. This book changed my whole perspective on how
You
to
got your
become,
notes?
yeah,
She just dropped the
because
bomb right there.
note takers are
Money
money
maker.
makers. This
So
is so
what was that
fun.
book? 360 Leadership by John Maxwell?
Yeah, that's the Audible I sent you. So, I'll send it to you. I'll send it in our mindset chat in that I just created in her society. But 360 leadership, I think, is just about leading from anywhere in the organization. And this, what we're going to talk about today, this is something that will change how you're going to show up in your business. Because when you join something like this, like pharmacy, you join thinking you're just going to share a product for 50% commission. That was my mindset. When I got started in network marketing, I was just like, okay, I'll get started and I'll share products. I never, the word leadership was never something that I associated myself with. Talking on a Zoom call to all of you was not something that, like, I clicked join now and said, okay, I'm going to join this and I'm going to start leading calls. Absolutely not. Leading people was not on my agenda when I said yes to network marketing. I said yes just to share products. And then I saw the results of leaders that were doing Zoom calls, that were deciding to make the decision to become a leader. And I saw their businesses multiplying. I saw their big checks on the stage. I saw the trips that they were earning, and I wanted to step into that leadership. So, leadership is going to take your business from addition to multiplication. Leadership is going to take your business from addition to multiplication. So, whether
Ooh.
you've been in this business for 2 weeks or 2 years, all of us are leaders. No matter what bonus level you dropped in the chat, we can all make the decision to become a leader, but it's your decision that you have to make. All right. So I want to talk about not just any leadership, but leading from where you are. Because some of you are at 3%, some of you are at 12, some of you are at 15, some of you are directors, and you can lead from anywhere in the organization. So a lot of the time we think that leadership is just about titles, director, bronze, golden, right? How many of you have hopped on a call and thought, "Oh, I can't wait to be a director to do that. I can't wait to be golden to lead something like that." And I want to encourage you that the action comes before the title. The decision comes before the title. I was working like this when I had 1,000 points in my back office. I was working like this when I had three beauty influencers. How you lead one person is how you're going to lead 100 people. So, whatever rank that you're working towards, you can become the leader that you dream about becoming right now. In the book 360 Leader, John Maxwell says that leadership isn't about position, it's about influence. So if you're on this Zoom call today, you're a leader. You don't have to wait to be promoted to lead. You start by influencing with your attitude, with your actions, and the example that you portray, the example that you give out. And your attitude, the attitude that you decide to have, it's free. Yesterday, I had a great day at work. I had five tables tip me over $100. And every single person was like, "You have a great attitude. We love your attitude. We love your attitude." Like I got a lot of compliments on my attitude, and I
Why
told
she
them
got the 25% tip last night.
I got like 50% tips, babe. Take note.
Oh, and she wasn't even wearing a push-up bra yesterday either. That was all leadership.
Adriana was on FaceTime with me while I was getting ready for work, and I couldn't find my bra. But that's a whole
That means
different
those tips
conversation.
were real service. She's really teaching and leading from the front, friends.
Anyway, I was telling my tables that, having a good attitude is free, but having a bad attitude costs you so much. So, like, you get to choose the attitude that you have, right? Have you ever, like, gone to a store and you're like, this person has a horrible attitude?
Oh,
Like, this person could be doing so much better in life if they had a good attitude. So, like, having a good attitude is a really big part of leadership.
that's a
But
12% tip right there.
yeah, or no tip,
Oh,
and now you're owing money to your busser, to your food runner, to the bartender. Having a bad attitude costs you a lot. Like if you get stiff,
yes.
you're paying out of your pocket. So like that's like server verbiage. I don't know if any of you have ever been servers
No,
for.
but what a great analogy. It's
Yeah,
really working. Yeah, I love that. It's costing you with a bad attitude.
I love
Ooh,
you, Fred.
it's deep.
Uh, so, before I go into what a 360 leader is, I just want to give you the concept of 360 leadership because John Maxwell, this blew my mind because at first I thought I could only lead the people that joined me. But John Maxwell teaches that leadership happens in three different directions. And I love how this applies to what we do here with Her Society. And we can lead up. No one ever thinks about that, right? You can lead up, you can lead your upline, you can lead across, you can lead your sideline, and you can lead down. You can lead the people that you enroll. So I want to break this down real quick. Leading up, influencing those above you. People don't think about this. They think they can only they think that like their upline is their boss and they can't lead their upline. But when you're leading up, it means that you're not waiting for your upline or your mentor to motivate you. It means that you take initiative and then your mentor is inspired by you. That's when you're really stepping into leadership. You show that you can handle responsibility and that you don't come with problems, you come with solutions. So something to ask yourself when you're wondering, like, am I leading up? I would ask, like, am I making my mentor's job easier or harder? Because when you lead up with excellence, it earns trust and it creates opportunities. We always say the more people that you help, the more money that you earn, and that includes your mentor. That includes your upline. And people don't think about that. When I read that, I was like, really, John? You want me to lead my upline? I was like, let me give it a try. Let me be coachable. Let me trust John. He's my friend. And he wouldn't just write this down for fun. And it really worked in my favor. Like, here in Her Society, I texted Christy. I was like, we need to rebrand and create our own group. And it wasn't like, I only want my team. Like, I love leading with Adriana. I love leading with Catherine and with Daniela and with Christy. And I love that you guys get to work with their teams too. So like one rising tide really does lift all ships. So
Or
go ahead.
Or think about how many times has it happened to you when like you're not in a posting mood or you're just like you're not in the mood, but you have one of your downlines, one of your BIs is messaging you asking about their post and putting it up and you're like, "Dang, well if they're making their post, like what am I doing? Like I got to get on top of that, you know? Like that happens. That happens."
More often than you think. So
Hmm.
um lead up, influence those above you. Number two, leading across, influencing your sidelines. This is where unity comes in. What has really pulled me through the 7 years in network marketing, it's not my upline. It's not, I love my uplines, by the way, in this
Is
industry.
this a roast?
But what's pulled me through are my sidelines because you're gonna build a team and they're gonna be people that stay for a week, for 3 months, for 3 years, for 5 years, forever. But I work like my strongest leg is gonna leave tomorrow. but my sidelines are the ones that like stick around. Like you find your people that have long-term vision with you, and that you're not making any, there's no financial gain. It's just pure value that you give to one another. And it's really pulled me through this industry. So like leading across, this is where unity comes in. Focusing on collaboration over competition. And in her society, I don't feel like we compare, we celebrate. We do a really good job at celebrating here. So when we share wins, when we shout each other out or collaborate on ideas, we lift the energy for everyone in this space. So again, remember, one rising tide lifts all ships. Do you want to?
Can we can we
Yeah.
put in the chat put in the chat a celebrate one of your sideline sisters that you feel either really inspires you or that is like your running buddy. Like this is a time for you to celebrate somebody else, someone that inspires you. Maybe this person's going to see it in the chat and they're not even going to think that they were doing that to you. So put that there. And while you guys are doing that, I just want to testify how much you, Kat, inspire me every single day. I wrote it to you in the chat. I really mean it. Like this girl, how many of you can agree how inspiring Kat is, right? Like she works her full-time job. She's all in with pharmacy. She's all in with her society. And she sends me a selfie last night working out on her rooftop at 11 p.m. after she's done 2 jobs. I'm like, girl, you inspire me in so many different ways every single day. Like I can totally testify to this because on the days that I'm just feeling down and out or just like yesterday was not my day. And Kat's like doing all the things. I'm like, you know what? If Kat can do it, I can do it. Like it's really true that your sideline sisters pour into each other so much more than we even know. And I just want to shout out in the chat what we have here. We got a lot of shout outs for V. V, you're inspiring. Anna, Mandy, Marina, Kat, all the girls, Ashley, Ella, Leslie, Selena, Shelly, Kayla, my mommy, Ray Bell, Kendra Velasco. Like, look at this. Ella's V's, like, look at that, ladies. Even if you didn't know, now you know. Pilar and Jeanette, Sierra, Abby. How beautiful. Like, how beautiful to be having a community like this and celebrate each other.
You're
That's
so
so
sweet,
fun.
friend. You guys, like, this is such a breath of fresh air. Where I work, we're fighting over spoons and like desserts. So,
You let them have the banana flambe, whatever, okay?
I love you guys so much. I
Or the
love
banana
you.
Foster.
Anyway, leading across, this is such a perfect example. And I think just like it gets when we come into a space like this, we're so used to like comparing. We're so used to judging. We're so used to being like, why does she get to do X, Y, and Z? Why is she doing that? How come I'm not doing that? And I think it's just like when you focus on celebrating it, if one, it feels so much better. And two, like you get that celebration right back. So lead across and influence your peers. And number three, lead down. Influence those you bring in. So this is mentorship. It's not about like bossing people around. It's about showing them what's possible. If you're like, do 5 reach outs, show them the 5 reach outs that you did. Make a reel today, show them the reel that you made today, right? People do what people see. People don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you doing. So if you want your team to show up for calls, you should be on calls. You should have your camera on. If you want your team to post content, you should be posting content and staying consistent, right? You model it first. So that's the concept of 360 leadership, leading up, leading across, and leading down. Leading all around from anywhere in the organization is the concept of 360 leadership. I'm going to give you 7 traits of a 360 leader, then I'm going to pass it over to Adriana. And we're going to have a great leadership call. So make sure you're taking notes. Drop a 7 in the chat if you're ready for the 7 traits of 360 leadership. Are you guys still here? Are you guys bored of
Seven.
leadership? Or do you guys like leadership? It's my favorite topic. I love it.
There's
Uh,
no way people are sleeping. This call's lit.
do we need a recharge break? Are you good?
Mandy, you dry scoop first.
All right. So the 7 traits of a 360 leader. John Maxwell in this book, it's so good, you guys. If you can get the Audible, if you're not able to, if you don't have time to read it, get the Audible. But he talks about what makes someone a true 360 leader. And these 7 traits, I think they fit perfectly with who like we strive to be as her society women. So number one is leading yourself first. You guys hear this all the time, but again, you can't expect your team to do what you're not doing. Discipline creates credibility. If you want to be credible in this business and in this organization, you need to have self-discipline. Like doing what you said you were going to do long after the feeling of when you said you were going to do it leaves. Like that's what discipline is. We all make a decision when we first get started or when we leave convention. I'm gonna be golden. I'm gonna go to the Maldives. But like continuing to do what you said you were gonna do after that feeling leaves of when you set it in. Does that make sense? So like after the excitement leaves, after the motivation leaves, you continue to do what you said you were going to do. That's what creates credibility. And when you're consistent, when you're posting, when you're following up, when you're doing the work, it tells everyone around you, I'm serious about this. I'm going to make it whether you join me or not. And it builds credibility for them to come be part of what you're doing. So you can't expect consistency from others if you're not showing it first. Right? How many of you want a consistent team? How many of you want people that join and stay instead of joining and disappearing in 3 weeks, in 3 months? And of course, you're going to have people like that because not everyone is going to be consistent, but you're going to have more of a stronger foundation in your business when you are disciplined and when you are consistent.
Quitters.
Triana.
JK.
Number two, you want to develop influence, not control. And I know Adrienne is going to touch on this. And like if you feel like you don't have influence, maybe like take note on the side, watch YouTubes on how to gain influence. There's a lot of great like trainings or seminars from like Simon, what's his name? I have a
Simon
book.
Sinek. He's
Yeah,
my, how you do John?
so
I do
good.
Simon.
Simon Sinek. What did this guy start again?
I don't know. He's just a big deal and he's always talking on leader
I'm
talks.
pretty sure this guy started that like
He's
footwear company. He's just a big guy,
a
big
big
guy you want to listen to.
and
Um,
his main shtick is leadership. Like whenever people call him in for keynote speaking, it's like usually always on leadership. He's
yeah.
great.
And you notice how Adriana and I, like I say the name and she knows who I'm talking about. That's how you know she's developing herself in quiet, right? Like when we say these names, if you don't know them, I would write them down and go figure out who they are because these are the people that have like we've consumed their content enough to step into leadership, right? So whenever I would hear people train and say names, if I didn't know the name, I was like, I need to know who they know. That's a big part of leadership. That's a question whenever you get with someone that you look up to, I would ask them, who do you know that I need to know? Who do you learn from that I need to learn from? Because everyone you look up to is learning from someone. And if they share like that they're learning from someone and you don't know the name, you better write it down and figure out who that person is so you can gain the same knowledge and information. So, develop influence, not control. Real leadership, it isn't about telling people what to do, it's about inspiring them to do it because they trust and they respect you. Your influence is built one action at a time by showing up with integrity, with heart, and consistency. So, influence is earned through trust, through competence. Remember that word competence? What was the that formula again? Consistency leads to
Competency, which leads to
competency,
confidence.
which leads to confidence. Yes. So consistency leads to confidence or
Oh,
consistency leads to competence and competence leads to confidence. So that's a big word in the leadership world, but influence is learned through that trust, through that competence, and through care, not through authority. Right? How many of you have ever had a manager that you can't stand because they tell you to do all these things and you look at them and you're like, you're eating donuts in the office all day long and you want me to do all of this? Like, People follow people that know where they're going and people that they trust, that are competent and that care, not because of authority. So, an example is consistently showing up for team calls. That builds unseen influence. We see Izzy on every single call, and I have no doubt that you guys will see Izzy hit director. And it's because she's constantly showing up. So people, when I was first starting off, people were like, Kat, how do you train on all these calls and show up on all of them? Like people see your name on the calls. People see like that you're showing up for them. When you send in call links and you're not on the call, your team sees that too. So develop influence, not control. Number three, communicate upward with clarity. When you need help, bring context, bring possible solutions. Show that you think like a leader on your one-on-ones. Here's the issue. Here's what I've tried. Here's what I'm considering. Instead of, I've, I need help. I'm stuck in my business. On your one-on-one, say, hey, I'm going for hitting director. I've been posting these reels, these stories. Here are my reach outs. I'm considering on changing X, Y, and Z. What do you think? That's how you communicate upward and lead up. When you're talking to your mentor or your upline, don't just bring questions, bring ideas that you have to what you want to change in your business. Here's what I tried. Here's what worked. Here's what I'm thinking of doing next. What do you think? That shows leadership thinking. It shows that you're taking ownership of your business.
Can we go on the flip side of that? We've touched about this before, but the flip side of that is poisoning. Your leadership can also poison your team. Like if you are saying, how Kat's saying, go up. I've tried this. I'm doing this. Here's where I'm stuck. Please help. But if you do that down and while to the people that you're leading and you're like, I don't get it. I'm stuck. I'm this and that, to your sideline who's on a similar journey. Okay, fine. But if you express your frustrations to your downline, you think that, oh, I'm building relatability, like, we're on the same page. It's okay to have vulnerable moments and to not know, but it's not okay to complain and to bring it down because leadership can go north or south and you can either raise everything up in the tide or you can like sink it down low. And if you start poisoning your downline, you're only doing damage to yourself and to those around you that trusted you when they got started with you. So always complain upwards, they say.
Yeah. Don't ruin your organization. I've seen so many people complain about like their upline to their downline. And then like you said then people are gonna send in calls and be like, go listen to X, Y, and Z. And they're gonna be like, you were just complaining about her yesterday. And then your team's not gonna even listen to the trainings that you have going on or, X, Y, and Z, right? So I would just always complain to your upline and praise your downline. Trust me, I've been in the position in my first years of network marketing. I have ruined my organization and have had to build it up again. So I'm just sharing from a space of what I've done, mistakes I've made in my business.
That's
Um,
cat before Christ.
yeah, BC, babe. So again, communicate upward with clarity. Number four, be a lifelong learner. This is such an important trait to gain. Leaders are learners. Your downline's always gonna wonder, what is my upline learning next? What is my upline going to teach me next? That's why we're on this call, right? You guys are like, what's Kat and Adriana gonna share about leadership today? So leaders are learners. Leaders are readers. If you say I don't like reading, we need to change that because when you read a physical paper book, like ideas come to my mind differently than when I'm listening to an Audible. I listen to Audibles in the car, but like if you read 10 pages a day, you'll read a book in 2 weeks and like you'll be writing notes in the book and ideas will come to mind that you wouldn't have thought of if you like just read it online or listened to it on an Audible. I mean, Kindles are great too, but something about a paper book. Leaders are readers and leaders are listeners. Leaders are readers and leaders are listeners. Podcast, personal growth, books, trainings that fuel you to your next level. Like, what are you learning outside of these Zoom calls? Like, this shouldn't be the only time you're pouring into yourself. When you stop growing, you stop leading. You should always be feeding your mind. Always, always, always. When people tell me I don't have anything to teach on, I was like, because you're not learning anything. So if you don't have anything to teach on, it's because you haven't taught yourself anything to teach. So like it was one day I was like at a convention in my last company, and this it was one of the Latina, she was a Latina girl. Her downline was complaining to her about she has no calls to do. She doesn't know what to say to her downline. And excuse my French, but she said it's because you're not reading shit. I was standing behind her and I felt convicted. I was like, I'm not reading it. I'm not reading shit. And that got me to start reading books. I'm not even joking. And the girl took it so well. But I guess like it sounds different when you're speaking in Spanish. Spanish girls have a different type of spice. And that both of them, I watched both of them hit the top rank of the company together. So that girl was coachable. She didn't take it personal. And I think like that was just how they talked to each other. But it taught me like that one comment, it stuck with me. I was like, I'm not reading shit. I need to start reading. So excuse my French. Sorry, I hate cursing.
Excuse my
But you should
Wait,
always be feeding your mind.
friend, what Miss PhD John Maxwell leader, sideline bestie, what is the law of the lid?
The law of the lid is like your team can only grow to where you grow to. So the law of the lid is a very important law principle that John Maxwell teaches. And he says that leadership ability, it determines a person's level of effectiveness. So your ability, like however high you can go, like your team can only go to where you are. There's going to be some people that can surpass you if they take initiative on their own. But most of your team, like if your leadership lid is at a level 5, and the look up the law of the lid because he shares different levels. But if you're at a 5, your business, the people that you enroll, they'll never go above a 5. So the best way to grow your business is to grow yourself. Like this is you, this is your team. So it's going to continue to go like this. So the best way to grow your business is to grow yourself. Your team is only going to grow to the level that you grow to. So imagine that there's a lid on your leadership, your team, like, and your team is in the jar. They're only going to grow to the level of how much you fill your jar. Does that make sense?
So you bust that lid right open.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's endless possibilities. So look up the law of the lid. I'll send that in our YouTube too. That's a week. Maybe we could do that for our leadership call next week. But the law of the lid is a great one too. Who brought it up? V?
No,
Or you're testing me?
that was me.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Because I know that you have your PhD with John Maxwell,
I
and I know
do,
that's
don't
a
play.
very
I
big
got a certificate.
principle.
I have a
I just know,
certificate. I'll bust it out.
but like, look there, friends, like exactly how she's talking about John. And I know one of his main principles is law of the lid. So to ask her about it, and I believe that comes from his book, The 21 Laws of Irrefutable Leadership.
Mhm.
Another really good John Maxwell leadership book. Bless you, Ella.
Honestly, every John Maxwell book is like I cry when I read them because I can feel myself growing and stretching. And they're such easy reads. Okay, I'm gonna fly through these next three. We talked about be a lifelong learner. When you grow, your business grows. Law of the lid, grow so your team can grow. Number 5, add value in every room. Whether it's the group chat. The group chat is a room. My biggest pet peeve is when I share something and then I look at all of the views and I see you guys. I see all of you that just watch all the stuff we put in and you don't add value. Like, I'm like, this person is such a good leader. Why aren't they adding value? I've talked to this person on the side. Why aren't they sharing their voice and their mind? More people need to hear them. So, like, whether it's a group chat, even if it's not your personal group chat, like sometimes there's pride. They're like, this isn't my team. I'm just gonna watch and only talk in my personal chat. I'm like,
Or maybe insecure, don't feel like their input is valuable.
Right, right. But it is like your voice is so valuable. Every single one of you have something to add, have value to add. And imagine if all of us decide to step into leadership, how much more value our group chats will have, how much more value these Zoom calls will have. So add value to every room, whether it's a group chat, a Zoom call, Instagram, whatever it is, always bring something that uplifts and educates because value makes you magnetic. Write that down. Value makes you magnetic. You want people DMing you info. You want people just joining from your story, link that you post, add more value. People gravitate to value. So
I can
always,
testify. I can testify to this because I got the smoke yesterday from Kat when she asked in to put in our power list for the week or our power actions. The way that this girl came for me in the chat and called me, we're having a serious conversation, but can you just reply in the chat? Like I'm telling you, she knows when she puts something in there and who's not responding. I got the smoke
but
yesterday.
you
But
know what? She
I,
put something in the chat. Six people responded. Because we need each other. We really do. Six people started putting in their power list after Adriana did. So I think it just like it makes a difference. So thank you, friend, for
thanks. That's
accepting
leading your
my smoke.
sideline right there, even if it's with the
Uh,
smoke.
so again, when you make it about helping other people win, your influence, it's gonna skyrocket because people want to win too. Number six, empower, don't micromanage. When you enroll someone new, your job isn't to make them do things your way. It's to show them how to win in their way. So guide, don't control, and teach duplication. Empower them to take ownership early on. So when you're onboarding a new beauty influencer, show them how, but let them shine in their own style. So leadership multiplies when you create more leaders, not followers. People that lead in their own way. Last one, number seven, stay grounded and humble. John Maxwell says that people won't follow a leader who thinks they're better than them. People don't follow people that think that they're better than them. No one likes a know it all. No one. No one likes someone that's like, I already know that. Oh, yeah, I know that. People hate people like that. When you stay humble, people will follow you. So stay grateful, stay coachable, and always remember that leadership is about service, not status. Write that down. Leadership is about service, not status. So if you felt insecure about putting your bonus level in the chat, about putting your rank in the chat, I just want to encourage you that you can choose to be a leader from anywhere that you are. It doesn't matter where you are now. It's about where you're going, and how you lead from where you are now will determine where you're going to be in the next 90 days, in the next year. All right? So lead up, lead across, lead down. And I'll put in the chat a couple ways to put that into practice.
Oof, oof. Put a 5 in the chat if you're feeling the fire from Kat. Wow. Like, how do I follow up with this? This is how she inspires me because I really got to level it up when I got Kat in the chat and Kat dropping these bombs on us like this. Oh, I love you so much, friend. You make us
Love
all
you.
better people. All right, all right. So, the gaps, like how can I add value here? When we were talking right now, how Kat's like, oh, people don't like a know-it-all, right? Or like, I'm, a do-it-all, know-it-all, everything. Have put an 8 in the chat if you've seen that meme before, like a visual. Have you seen it before where there's like the chariot and there's people in front and the boss, it literally says boss, he's sitting on the front, he has like a whip to the people in the front. But then below it, as a leader, it's like the same chariot, but this boss from before is actually in with the people pulling the load, right? Like visually, that's what you have to think of as a leader. It's not sitting pretty with your director title, now cracking the whip and like waiting for everybody to pull your load. Like we still got to be pulling the load and we pull it all together. So that's really the visual difference of a boss versus a leader. But if you didn't catch this, remember what Kat said, leadership is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple, right? So John Maxwell says that leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. But if we break down influence, what is influence? It's trust. And with trust is respect. right? So how do we break down influence to be better leaders? And I want to break it down to two areas in our life, which is I love it when she tells me she's going to the washroom. Like, thanks, Kat. See what a great leader. Okay. But when we break down influence, it's in our personal life and our professional life. So having influence in your personal life, not even when the camera's always on, but when the camera is off. How are you supposed to lead people to use supplements when you are not? How are you supposed to talk about and share your makeup, your get unready with me, your skincare routine, whatever, if you're not doing that, even when the camera is off? Or when you're promoting pharmacy makeup, but really you don't even use it and you use like all of your other stuff. Like people feel the fake, right? So how do you have influence in your personal life? It really does come down to your personal habits and routines of who you really are. So maybe that's the first thing that you want to check when we're off this call. Like, how is your personal life? And it doesn't need to be perfect. And that's when sharing things, like, for example, I was sharing that I had this eye sty last week. Like, that's not really screaming leadership, but it's screaming like I'm still showing up on my stories and I'm outing myself and talking about my insecurity because it's creating relatability and I'm still showing up regardless of this minor infraction on my ego. Like, right? So check yourself on your influence in your personal life. Are you really being a product of the product? Are you really being the leader that you would want others to be? Are you getting on these calls and then after this you're sitting on the couch and you're being a potato? Like, how are you going to lead your team if you just want to be a potato? Like, your team is only going to grow to the point where maybe then you self-check yourself. It's like, maybe I need to, increase my micronutrients. Maybe I need to move my body a little bit better. Maybe I need to go to bed a little bit earlier. Like, maybe I need to have less screen time. How do you become a better version of yourself in your personal life so that you can have better influence, so that you can become a better leader? And now your professional life, right? How are you doing in your influence in the professional life? And I love what Kat said, regardless if you feel worthy of being that leader now or not. For example, I shared this on my story. I have a very beautiful girl that I believe in so much, and she sent me a message this morning and she's like, I just get in these moods and sometimes I feel unqualified. Like, first of all, wow, thank you for your vulnerability and honesty and communication. But two, I have to remind you that God does not call the qualified, he qualifies the called. So maybe you don't feel qualified to be a leader, but you were called to be here. And if you're not necessarily leading a team yet, you're leading yourself. And when you started this business, what we've always done is what we're always going to get. In order to see change, we must change. So yeah, you're not that emerald diamond president boss yet, but you are acting as if and becoming her now and not being a potato because you weren't qualified, because we're not in that position. And what a blessing it is that God has not given us the gift of being a boss with a $50,000, $100,000, $1 million paycheck a month yet, because that means he has so much work in store for us that we're going to become such a better, unimaginable version of ourselves that we haven't even touched yet because we're not there yet. Like, the perspective of the direction that you and your team are going to, you have to believe in your heart of hearts that maybe you're not there yet, but God is working within you and you're working within yourself to become that version. But if you're not every single day working on yourself in your professional life, maybe being a little better with your content consistency, maybe being a little bit more vocal on your stories, maybe being better at showing third-party validation, maybe being better at showing testimony, maybe being better in the chat, maybe being better with your cameras on, like, a 1% better, it adds up every day. And with that increases your influence because people see that you weren't this person before, but you are her now, or you're becoming her now. And that's something that really enrolls people, is when they really realize, wow, like, my favorite BIs to work with, to be honest, are people who've never posted beauty content ever before. And now they are, because that stops the scroll. people are like, wait, what? Like, she's never posted skincare before. Like, I gotta watch, even if it's like, I gotta watch this clown show, like, whatever. Bad publicity is still publicity. But you know what I mean? Like, becoming that, checking yourself in, how are you doing in your personal life, doing an internal check-in. How's your personal life doing? How's your professional life doing? Where is an area that you can become 1% better, so that you're demonstrating to your team that you are trying, and maybe you don't have the results yet, but you know that compounded effort equals results, and that is biblical itself, right? And what Kat also said, and I wanted to mention, is that leadership, whether we see people, oh my gosh, she's a natural born leader, like, yeah, that's verbiage, but the honest truth is that leadership is taught, it's not born. The more that you focus on your leadership development, which is a skill, like leadership is a skill, it is learnable, it is education, and there are so many resources, and Kat dropped so many bombs for us on that. So maybe that looks like, how are you growing your leadership? Maybe you're going to be listening to a podcast now. You're like, I'm just going to tune in. And you know what that's going to happen? You're going to hear something that triggers you, that you're going to share with your team and be like, oh my gosh, I just heard this. And then they're going to say, oh my gosh, she's watching podcasts. I should probably listen to a podcast. See how it trickles in through your own actions. It's a consistent development. If you already think you're there, then you're already lost. You're already gone. And just short story real quick is, in my previous company, I did get started with someone. I did trust them. And 2020 happened. They were a much older team than I. My team was much younger. We were hanging out with each other during the time that we were allowed to, but they didn't like it because they were older. They thought it was disrespectful, whatever. We separated. Now I didn't have an upline. And I know Christy's story is kind of similar along the same way, but just to show, you don't need to wait on your upline to lead you on where to go. You can take personal responsibility. And yeah, it's a little bit more challenging, but think about how rewarding it is when you take learning and growing and developing into your own hands. And that's something that I really want you to take away. What Kat said is, she said, like, outside of this call, what else are you learning? And I know that a lot of us are busy, but we can make all the excuses in the world, and they're all legitimate in our own minds. But even a designated day, a time in the shower, folding laundry, whatever, some sort of education along the way. So with leadership, let's talk about it like this. Like, let's actually get a little bit like structural. Okay, so we're leading. Where are we leading to? Like, okay, we're leading, great, but like, to where? So there's something called, and this is Simon Sinek, there's something called infinite goals and finite goals. So the finite goals are like what's already in place, what already is, period, unchangeable. The finite goals for us in our leadership, in the way that we're leading people through, is 3%, 6%, 9%, 12%, 15, 18, 20, 22, 25. Their director, hold it 3 months. Help somebody else do the same. Go to bronze. Help another do the same. Go to golden, right? These are the finite goals. So first off, we need to know, where are we leading to? So first starts with you knowing, where are you leading yourself? So put in the chat, where are you leading yourself at this month? I don't want to, like, whether you believe in it or not, where are you leading to? Like, are you trying to re-hit the 12% that you hit last month, or are you going for the 15, whether you believe in it or that you're going to hit it or not? Like, where are we all leading to? Put it in the chat. And honestly, I really want to shout out our chat. We had like 38 people on here on midday on a Tuesday. Like, you really all are leaders. That's incredible. Okay, so where are you all going? Step 1, to leading yourself. Where are you going? Step 2, where are you leading your team? Meaning, this is just part of leadership, and it comes with time. But what do you know your team and what their next goals are? So maybe you want to write that down. Like, how are you going to lead your team if you don't know where you're leading them to? And you know that if you lead them there, that you will also get to your goal. So really, you just need to have a vision of like what the next goal is for you. But the most important thing is of the service to focus on, where in the team are you helping those people get? The infinite goal are the changing, ever so changing variables towards the finite goal. So the infinite variables might be onboarding new BIs. It might be helping your team raise up their own percentages. It might be getting, doing new trainings, new leadership, new content. Like there's so many infinite goals to set yourself up to hit the finite goal. So maybe what is your goal for content? How many times are you currently posting a week? What is the actual goal for that? Okay, I can't do 5 times a week because why? Identify the block. Don't take it as finite, but infinite. How do I get around the block? Okay, I content batch. Okay, I figure out Instagram's posting tool to post for me on certain times, right? So the infinite goal of what are the micro goals that get you to the big goal because you're leading it there. But now I want to lead it into the most important thing is, have you ever heard or even posted yourself? You're like, I'm the CEO of my own business. I'm the CEO of my, like, what does that even mean? Chief Executive Officer? Like all of the C titles for businesses are very, you can tell right away what that person is doing. It's very descriptive in the job title. But Simon Sinek was saying like the CEO, like that is such a broad term. The one that he loves the best, in which we should all adopt, is we're CVOs, Chief Visionary Officers. I think that's the most important thing about this call, is to be Chief Visionary Officers. Because on the days that you don't feel like leading, you have to remember why you're doing it. And I know that we talk about vision all the time, but that should be like an indicator of how important it really is. So put in the chat right now if you know what your vision is. Like when you got started with pharmacy, why did you do that? When you started with pharmacy, why did you do that? And maybe your vision has broadened because now you've been here for a minute and you really see what's possible. But if we don't all put in the chat what your vision is, like that's the first speed bump that I want to help uncover for you right now. Where nobody has even written in the chat right now what their vision is for this. There's 3 layers for the vision. There's the vision of the team. There's the vision of the leader, and there's a vision for your business partners, your FIs. Drop a what? Okay. So what I'm saying is, first, we all need to be enrolled to the vision of Her Society. What does Her Society stand for? This is when service outperforms motivation every single time, is when you tie it back into your vision. But first, you need to know, what are you part of? You're part of Her Society. So what is the Her Society vision in which you all adopt through being here? It's helping each other rise. That is the main vision in which all of us are enrolled with, because we're all here, we're all in agreement. So we help each other rise. So helping each other rise can look like contributing in the chat, can be like having your cameras on, can look like reposting and shouting out team. How can you help each other rise? We're leading towards not ourselves, but helping each other rise. So how can we really showcase that? Then comes the vision of personal self. So for mine, like, I really believe that God has put me through such a treacherous journey that I should be a statistic of everything that I am today. I should not be her. And so I live every day to inspire others to do what inspires them. And that's why you see me doing a video today on the treadmill. And I'm like, guys, I was lethargic. I don't feel like it yesterday, but I went to bed a little bit earlier and I'm here and I'm doing it. So here, like, you can do it too. Little things, you never know. How many times have you been down and out and you've gone on social media and someone's post, like, it actually made a difference in your life? And I know we can say like, oh, how modern, how sad, how like whatever, but like that is your influence and it does make a difference in people's life. So on the days that I don't feel like doing whatever I've got to do, what I know I should be doing, it's not the motivation that gets me through. It's the discipline that does it, because of the vision in which I have for my life, which is to inspire others to do what inspires them. And of course, financially, it really helps if I have a financial goal, right? Like I do want to be making 50K a month. And I really do. That's why we're doing these 3 calls a week. You know, I really understand Kat when she loads on our calls this week. Why? Because I know Kat's vision. I know that Kat wants to make 50K a month, and she's not stopping till she does. And she knows that the more connection that we have, the more that we pour into each other, the closer to her goal she's going to get, because the closer we're all going to get, because what we've always done is what we're always going to get. In order to see change, we must change. So how do we change? We get more knowledge so we can put more knowledge into action. But that's the third one that's really important, which is, do you know the vision of the people you're working with? Because in the times that they're feeling unqualified is the time that you remind them of their vision and that you believe in their vision. That's where you're leading people to. You're leading them towards the vision of their life. So an actionable item for that is when you're having your onboarding calls or when you're having the DMs and the back and forth, a really powerful question that I think many of us get a little bit uneasy asking. And I think that uneasiness comes from the lack of confidence of our own knowing of what our own vision is. Because when you're locked into your vision, it's easy for you to ask other people what the vision is for their life. And a lot of times people don't know. And that's why people are depressed and have anxiety, is because they don't have a vision. I know Christy's like super, super heavy on knowing the vision. That's like one of her favorite things to train about is the vision. And I know that about her. So do you know the vision of your downline? And maybe that's the actionable item for you today, is to ask all of the people you're working with, like, what is your vision for being here? What is the vision for your life? And if you really want to take it up a notch, like, you're going to write it down somewhere. Because I mean, hello, the goal is to be working with a bunch of people. So you're not probably, unless the vision like really hits your heart, which really a vision should, you might forget, and that's your own poison. So write it down. What are you helping? Where are you leading people to? You're not just leading to 369 director golden. You're leading them to the vision why they're here. So you are a CVO. You are a chief visionary officer. If there's the one thing that the leader can do that will make all of the difference in their team, it is to remind them of their vision every single day. It is to be embodying what your vision is and working towards it every day. That is the most important thing a leader can do, is to hold the vision, to hold the line. So actual ways that I feel like, and I'd love Kat's analogy, Kat's input here, is I love action items. And I have two kind of lists that I feel like is going to help us like this. I know my husband running in and out of the camera. I literally had the conversation with him before this, but I mean, clearly I'm not leading my household very well, but that's why the man's the leader. Anyways, neither here nor there. Okay. Yes, I want my daughter to have a bottle. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I love you. Leading, okay, marriage. All right. So number one, how you're going to help your pharmacy influencers. Okay. How you lead your influencers. Number one, write this down. Number one is you need to get clear on their vision and their why. And I know we hear it banging on the head over and over, but that's how important it is, because without an anchor, you're just a ship lost at sea. So the anchor is your vision and your why. It's the reason why you're going to continue to persevere, even if you feel like you're unqualified or it's just not your day. Right? So number one is getting clear on your downline's vision. Number one is getting clear on your vision. Number two is getting clear on your downline's vision. Number two is to guide them towards as a leader, you know their vision. Okay, how do you guide them towards it? Well, first, of course, we want to guide them to school. We want to guide them towards the education and the knowledge that you don't have to teach yourself, which is these power sessions. You want to guide and lead them towards the chat, right? So number one, knowing their vision, their why. Number two, guiding them there. Number three is asking them questions. And this is when Kat said about not micromanaging. Like, my favorite thing to do is when somebody sends me a screenshot and they're like, oh my gosh, what would you say to this? As much as we think that leading is like telling them what we would say, and we really feel like we know it, and we really feel like we would help them nail it, we have to live in abundance and not scarcity, and live in knowing that leadership is what makes a business scalable. So without leading, you're not scaling. So it's more important in the moment to lead than to get it right. And leading involves crash, burn, and learning, right? So instead of responding to them, oh my gosh, this is what I would say back, it's What would you say back? What would you say back? And I'll help edit it from there. Because you're still a leader, you're still guiding, people still don't know, right? Or when somebody says like, "Oh, I'm missing a product in my kit, like what should I do?" If they've never done it before, you're like, "Okay, we'll submit a ticket. Do you know how to do that?" You're not right off the hop telling them how to do it. Do you know how to submit a ticket? No. Okay, I'll show you. When it happens again, okay, we got to submit a ticket. Do you remember how to do that? Right. Or like number 4 is holding the vision. Is holding the vision for them, reminding them why they're doing it. And the days that they're feeling down and out, that's when you pull it out of your back pocket. It's like, "Hey, I remember, Selena, that you said your mom has worked so hard for her entire life, and your dream is to be able to retire her and to make sure that she doesn't have to work again and to buy a house for her one day. I know that you're having a hard day, but I also know how important that vision is for you. And I believe in it so much that I'm not going to let you not hit that goal." Like, she's putting eyes in the chat. And that's because I know my team. I know her vision. I know why she wants to do this. Right. So you have to hold the vision strong. And that's what leadership is. It's not telling people what to do. It's, again, to the tips analogy of yesterday, which I got my own kick in the butt behind. Right. But why do people can be with anybody. People can sign up with anybody in pharmacy. But why did they sign up with you? Why are they spending time with you? Because you struck something in their heart that nobody else was able to do. And you have to be so like crying in your heart to know when somebody says yes, they're going to get started with you because they saw something in you that they need in their life. And what a blessing that is. But what a slap in the face when you want to be a potato and not show up for yourself because you had someone who believed in you and you don't believe in yourself right now. So the thing with what I just said, 1 through 4 of how to really do that, when you have somebody get started with you within your first 30 days, I really recommend holding their hand as best as you can. Right? Like, you want to continue the momentum. So when they first get started, they're super excited about it. And you want to hold that for them as long as you possibly can, which as a leader, it usually looks like a daily check-in. And it doesn't have to be even pharmacy related. It's like, "How was your day yesterday? Oh my gosh. Oh wow, I just watched this show. Can you believe it? Like, LOL." I know Kat has a chat and she just talks about Love is Blind and like it has nothing to do with business, but it brings the team a little bit closer on something that's unpharmacy related. It's the relationships. You're a CVO, you're a chief visionary officer, you're a professional friend maker. You're here to keep the relationship is the leader, because anybody can boss, point, shoot, tell them what to do, all the things, but a leader takes the layers of the onion deep and gets close in the heart. That's what's going to have someone stay with you, because they know that you see them in a different light than the rest of the world sees them. So really stay close to your people. And I take this from me. When I first got started in my other company, I was just excited. I was getting enrollment. I'm like, okay, they're going to figure it out. I'm learning first on my own. Like, they're going to figure it out. And the amount of people that I lost because I was so in my own head, in my own game, that I didn't even consider them. So really, tangible steps for that is, 1, check in with your people as frequently and possible as you can in one-on-one. But a leadership tip that, Kat, I'd love for you to contribute to this. And I asked her about it because I thought it was really interesting. I know that she has her frontline chat and she has her society chat, because she wants to be able to have a conversation with her frontline leaders to be able to tell them things before it goes into the big chat. She wants to keep that connection because it's not her responsibility. And I love that she said this. I ask my people to reach out to me because there's one of me, but there's like 500 of you, and I don't know what I don't know. So it takes you to advocate for yourself, to speak up for me to know. But her frontline chat, and this is what I recommend, it's there, you're never too late to like redo things. So what I recommend after this, I do like, think back to yourself. Do you have one chat with all of your frontline leaders? Because I think that's really powerful. So one chat with all your frontline leaders. Usually the upline is included in that. The upline isn't, well, I mean, let's just put it like this, Kat. Yes, because Kat, you have your frontline chat, but let's just say, are you in Mandy's frontline chat?
No, I'm not.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of personal responsibility right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like whatever I share in my frontline chat, I want my frontline to share that in their chat without saying Kat told me this. Like, whatever I send to my front line, all of you should be sending it to your downline. Like, I'm giving you something to say to the people that you enroll. And same with my leadership chat. Like, when I share things in there, I think it's important. Like, Issa sends things and I send them in my chat and I don't say, Issa said this.
Yeah.
You know, like your team should look at you like you're the leader. So it's like there's no duplication if you're doing everything for your team. Like if I'm in 30 frontline chats, that defeats the purpose of her society. So like I lead my frontline and then I have a leadership chat for people that are 15% and above. And then I have like a big team chat and we have her society. But like I wouldn't even worry about all of that. Like you should have one chat on iMessage with the people that you enrolled, guiding them. Hey, this was sent in her society. Did you guys see it? Who's on the call? And like make dialogue about the call we're having now with your front line, so that you can build a personal relationship with them.
Could you imagine after this call, if all of us who don't have a frontline chat, if you took after this call and you put all of your frontline people that you've enrolled into one iMessage chat and you just like, hey friends, I was on the leadership call today. I think it was really valuable when I heard that all the frontlines stay close together and we lead together to help each other. So I've created this group. You're all my frontlines here, and I encourage you to create your own frontline chat with your frontline. Like imagine the duplication with that. But I just do want to say it's still very important to be in the Hearst Society community, because think about when people first get started and they're in a frontline chat with you and maybe you have a couple of people, which is amazing. And that's a close bond. But then when they see her society chat, they're like, oh my gosh, there's like hundreds of us doing that. It's a different type of wow factor. It's a different type of community piece, right? But that I really encourage the homework from today is if you don't have a frontline chat yet, create one. And then encourage your team to have their own frontline chat. Imagine how much stronger the bonds in the chain are going to become if we take that action. Okay, anything to add to that? Okay, V is asking a question. How do you encourage slash keep people engaged and speak more in chats? I have a handful of girls engaging daily and then a handful who don't speak due to shyness.
Getting
First of
on
all,
having your personal calls
put
because
in a 5 in the chat if that's happened to you, because I don't want V to feel like that's herself. Like the amount of times that I feel like it's been like ghosting or you're just talking in the chat, you're like, am I talking to myself?
I have a good one on this. Like, keep talking in there, V, because one day you're gonna enroll a BI that comes in, is just on fire, talks a lot, and all those people that have watched everything that you've said over the last 6 months, all the calls you've been sharing, they're gonna see like, oh my gosh, I should have listened to V over the last 6 months. She just enrolled this girl who's listening to everything she said in just 3 weeks, and this girl's promoting. This girl's ranking up. Like, show them the process. Because they're going to see the process. Like there's a lag time in success. Like when you start and implement something new, there's going to be a lag time before you see results. Like her society, we just started this last week. I don't expect results for what we've done here in 30 days. Like in 90 days, I'll be able to evaluate. In 6 months, I'll be able to evaluate. Excuse me, but I can't tell you how many times I've had my chat dead for 3 months. I bring in someone new, this person's alive and talking and like engaging way more than the people that have gotten this information for 6 months. And all of a sudden, these people start talking because they're watching like a fly on the wall. So just be consistent, because one day you're going to enroll someone that lights up the chat. It just takes time. And a big thing with leadership is patience. You guys know that song by Post Malone? Congratulations. I was patient. Now they want to say congratulations. Like, you got to be patient, you guys. Like, leadership, that, like, you guys see all these courses where you can make $500,000 in 3 months, but leadership is the best trait that you can give to yourself, the best characteristic you can teach yourself, but it takes time. It takes time, but you're going to gain like a characteristic that isn't just going to help you in business. It's going to help you with your family. It's going to help you with the people around you. And it's going to be the most fulfilling thing that you teach yourself.
Remember what we talked about before, like being a leader, you are creating the culture in which you wish to see, which maybe isn't necessarily there yet, which is what Kat's saying about patience. So instead of conforming to the culture and letting the culture be by autopilot, you have to create the culture by design, meaning you still have to show up in your frontline chat as if it was had 500 people speaking in there chatting popping off. And you can't get offended when it's not. And you just fill your cup in the Her Society chat when you see everybody's popping off in there. But don't you dare conform to the culture and let the culture be created for you. You are the leader in which you are showing and you're creating your culture by design. Kat? Oh, really? Do we have any other questions? Because I thought that was great. A few girls on my team that haven't spoken or even responded to things. And some that do. I think what Kat said, she was touching on it, is take that person on a one-on-one. Don't pull them out of the chat, but like identify who that person is and take it onto a one-on-one and call them and create that relationship deeper and pour into them. They maybe don't feel qualified to contribute to the chat. And that's where they need you to be a leader, to be like, no, you are. And do you remember what your vision is? And I believe in you in that. And imagine if you contributed to the chat that you might get closer to that vision because I believe in it for you. Like you got to pull out and create that personal bond even deeper.
And I think something that has helped me bring a team to life or bring a chat to life, like if you have three girls, right? Well, naturally, give me an example. How many people do you have on your like in this chat?
See, Naturally is leading from the side up all around because that girl shaved her eyebrows to prove the efficacy of our lash serum. And I was like, girl, that is inspiring and I want to use that content.
Okay, well, let's say you have 7 people on your team. Okay, let's say you're brand new, you're getting started, you enrolled 3 people, they each enrolled one person, and one person enrolled 2 people. So you now have this group of 7 people in your team management. What I would do is hop on a call. Be like, hey guys, I'm so grateful that you decided to say yes to this. I would take the initiative to go into your team management, get every single number of every single person, all 7 of those people, make a group chat, say, hi guys, I'm Catherine. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm one of your pharmacy influencers. I'm so grateful that you said yes. I want to get together and just meet you guys a little bit and figure out why you said yes and help you make your money back. And like make that a thing. I want to help you make your money back. People are going to want to hop on that and figure out how to make their money back. And get on a Zoom call with these 7 people, introduce yourself, get vulnerable because people can only get vulnerable with you if you get vulnerable with them. Get vulnerable and tell them what you want to achieve here and why you need them. I'm doing this because my dad passed away when I was 20, and that pain that I got from that loss, I'm turning it into passion and honoring him in this business. And I want to help other women become entrepreneurs and gain that financial freedom for themselves. Right. And I go a little deeper than that. This is just something quick. And I make each person go around, share where they're from, how old they are, and why they started this.
You see,
And
she's saying about the story. So your story and your vision. Again, how important it is to have those conversations.
And if people keep ghosting you, keep enrolling. 1 out of 10 people are going to do something worth talking about in this business. And it might take you enrolling 30 to get the 3. But those 3 people are going to bring in more people than the amount of people that have told you no, more people than the amount of people that have ghosted you. I promise you, I've been doing this for 7 years. One person will bring in more people than the people that have told you no if you keep going. And if you keep investing in yourself and growing, you have to grow if you want people to grow with you. People aren't going to follow you if you're in the same place today as you were 90 days ago.
Which comes back to checking yourself in your professional and into your personal. Are you leading yourself in a way that will influence and inspire others?
So how can you show up different? Maybe like, wow, I see this girl's doing her hair and like putting on her makeup. Like this girl's like putting herself together differently. This girl's showing up more professionally. This business is changing her. This business is helping her grow into someone different. So like people need to see it on the outside too, that you are different. Like color your hair. I don't know, like do something different. And people are gonna like, I promise you, I know that sounds silly, but like if you've always wanted to have that maroon hair for fall, go and color it. Style it like you've never styled it before and show people that you're different. Or shave your eyebrows. That is not coming from me. But like show up more professionally as someone like would someone in the beauty industry would want to follow you? Would someone in the wellness space want to follow you? Would someone want to join you and build an organization with you? Right? Like how are you holding yourself? How are you presenting yourself?
You leading yourself.
Right? So I do have a call with Mandy. I have to
Yes,
get off, but I
this
love
is
you
great.
guys.
Let's if you have more leadership questions, put it in the her chat because we learn through each other, which is why we love that chat when you ask questions in there because you never know who's watching and learning from those questions. And if you feel brave enough, like share your vision in there and we might get some other people sharing their vision too, which just helps us all stay accountable and on the path.
Can someone take a video and tag me? I don't know where my
Wait,
phone is.
I know, but you need to put gallery.
You have to put gallery, friend. Click view and click multi-speaker or gallery.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Someone
See?
teach this girl how
Great.
to use the remote.
Amen. Okay, ready? Bye, ladies. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Q&A. Oh, wait. Hold on, actually. Love you, love you, love you. Hold on, wait. With Q&A, just so you're set up for success,
Go on
Q&A.
Chat GPT and say what question should I ask my leader in pharmacy if I want to go boss?
Tomorrow is more roundtable style. Like we want to see unmutes. We want to hear back and forth. We want to learn from each other. So come with questions. And like Kat said, if you don't have one now, find one. That will be valuable for everyone. Think about where are you right now? Why are you maybe stuck? Or what do you think will help you go next level? What question do you need to know? Ask it. Be prepared for tomorrow at 1 p.m. roundtable.